Okay, I'm gonna do a voiceover for today because I do have a lot to talk about. Anyway, insert cool intro. Today I'm going to draw the top 9 characters you guys want to see in my art style. You bet the contenders for this list were a pain to choose, considering how many requests there were. But it's fine since I manually went through all of the individual requests. Anyway, the post link is in the description of the video if you want to request more characters. Up first is Kyusaku, who got 10 individual requests. And I was really excited to draw them too because their design is really cool, even if I struggled a bit, especially with the hair silhouette. But it all turned out good in the end. Anyway, I originally only wanted to do a little lightly rendered bust up for each character, but as you can see very soon I got a tad carried away and fully rendered each piece. Haha. But no worries because all in all it only took a little over 1 hour each piece. And overall, I think I really like the colors for this one. Second on this list is Lucy, the best girl. I think she was only requested like 5 times, but I wanted to draw her anyway because up until now I haven't really drawn any guild characters yet. Anyways, man, I was very indecisive with the hair color and kept changing it using filters. But that's mostly because this is the first time I've ever drawn redheads. As always, I render each part separately for efficiency, but I really just alpha lock the base layer and layer over with lasso you know, lasso supremacy. But yeah, I think it turned out really well in the end, and I managed to capture the sass. I love BSD women, platonically, despite rarely drawing them because I mostly draw the gays anyway. Moving on, we have a more specific request compared to the other two. Akane in Chuuya's wardrobe. To be honest, I immediately knew I had to draw this glorious man the second he was requested. So thank you, OP, for bringing this idea to mind. I love it too much now. As much as my art style is inspired by TBHK, I haven't really drawn any TBHK characters. Once again, I am too BSD brain rotted. So for this piece, I kind of referenced the post on Pinterest because I knew anatomy from the back of my mind wouldn't do him justice. I just make it work somehow, you know? To be honest, I hadn't fully realized how well Akane fits in Chuya's clothes until now. But like, come on, all gingers at this point are fine shites, okay? Plus, this matches a drawing I did a while back of Chuuya in Akane's clothes. Actually, more like 3 drawings, but anyway, here is the fine shite. Up next is Maomao, who was only requested once, but I drew her anyway because all of the most chosen characters were all BSD. And I originally wanted my community post to be a chance where you guys can request off-series characters, but oh well, chat is entirely BSD brain rotted. Wild to admit, but I kinda struggled with the face anatomy a bit and kept bringing back Liquify tool to fix it. Although in hindsight, that was just me being burnt out after drawing 4 characters in one single day. Anyway, I have heard of Apothecary Diaries before since my cousin reads it and a few people in my group chat obsessed with it, but I've never actually seen the show. You know, like, I don't have the mentality to sit down and binge anime episodes, man. I opt for manga. On that part, I drew Maomao to look a bit more like her age, 17. Yeah, personally, I think this show kinda infantilizes her features a bit. Just a bit of criticism, but I have nothing against the show, okay? Anyways, I love the colors for this. It's been a while since I drew so multicolor. Lo and behold, Ango Sakaguchi. So, not the most requested, but the requesters were, what can I say, really passionate about him. Therefore, not wanting to be threatened, I drew him. Fun fact, while drawing this, I was listening to a 1.5 hour long Oshinoko documentary and it was very peak. Like, when I'm drawing, it's either blasting some random playlist YouTube made for me or putting on a VTuber documentary video in the background, Mujin mentioned. Anyway, for some inexplicable reason, I struggled with the face a lot. Like, my art wasn't arting and soon later I have to come back and liquefy the face after it was fully rendered, and it's a real pain. The day after I finished drawing too. Like, does that make sense? Well, rendering was enjoyable as usual. I live, laugh, love my lasso fill. Haha. At least the colors worked, right? Now I'm going to draw a silly you guys have been requesting a lot, and of course none other than Nikolai Gogo. I swear the sketch looked a tad chopped at first, but nothing a little liquefy can't fix. Liquefy tool, my diva. My second most used tool besides lasso fill. Like, man, brushes? I don't use brushes, I use lasso fill. Anyways, I don't really have a lot to say about the process, just that rendering him was very indeed satisfying, and I love the gummy-like end result. Really? At least I've escaped art block, you know? Now, I'm not sure if I'll draw or do more Nikolai content in the future, and I'm sure some of you will probably be asking, Fuelai shoplifting update when? To which I must regress, no, it probably won't come any soon. I'm sorry, I know it's been a month, but this is a very personal problem that's been going on with my life lately, and I'm not really active anymore, but that's a problem for another day. Chuuya, the one and only Chuuya. Despite having drawn him 300 times by now, you guys can't seem to give enough of him. So here he is, the man of all his glory. Now, why am I drawing the Beast version? Because out of all the Chuuya requests, the majority of them wanted Beast content. Haha. I swear, there was also 2 maid requests and a Sukoku one. Go figure. But that's not what I've come here to confess today. Sadly, I did not live up to your hype, man, because I drew the glorious man right when I had an infuriating case of art block, so it looks so chopped. For no reason at all. Holy shit. I don't know what degraded in quality. This just looks worse than how I normally draw, okay? Like, at least Beast Chuuya will forever be peak. So, I'll redraw him in the future, I promise. It'll look better, I promise. Up next is Yosano, who was requested about 3 times, I think? But I added her in the list anyway because I think her, along with other BSD women, are really underrated. Which is why the only way to do her justice is to draw her in the most glorious and ethereal way possible. Or in other words, I just really wanted to try out a glowing rendering technique and pose I respectively found off Pinterest. And also thought glowing butterflies would be so cool since I already saw a few artworks incorporate that. On that note, Yosano fanarts are so insanely peak and most of them hold so much symbolism and meaning. Which bones would do the same though? Regardless, I fear I really peaked with the color palette for this one, and this piece has one of the best hair flows I've ever drawn. Hopefully I did capture her beauty. Oh, and the glowing butterflies, which I soon realized did not quite pop up behind a white background and had to airbrush a darker purple aura last minute. Those coming from my Tumblr knew I took the concept of glowing butterflies and ran with it. Last but not least, I drew Oda Sakunosuke. Okay, so this one was a bit out of my comfort zone because I was kind of scared to draw masculine men for the first time because I'm scared. Like, what if it looks like a twink? Or what if it looks so blatantly wrong and not like Oda at all? Like, I was just really divided, man, because masculine Oda is the only morally correct Oda, at least to me. Twink Oda does not exist. It sounds so wrong. So, please tell me I did him justice. I really stretched my art style a lot for this one, haha. Well, at least I had to draw him one way or another anyway, considering my next planned animatic is going to be about odazai angst. Well, stay tuned, I suppose. Please tell me this looks like Oda. I do think it really looks cool in the end, though. Also, I just now realized when drawing that Oda has blue eyes. How did I not realize that before? Well, at least in the anime. I'm not sure how he looks in the light novel. Well, that looks at the end of today's I Draw Stuff in My Art Style gimmick. Now, before I end the video, I'm sure some of you may be asking, but where's Rampo? Rampo got the highest request count alone of 16 requests. Why aren't my children in this video? Since you're trying based off the most requested characters. Look, my last short animation was literally 1 whole minute of Rampo all over. So in case if anyone's asking that, just spare me, okay? You already got your share of food. Anyways, thank you for watching. I had a fun time drawing your requests. And look at this cool kunizai thing I drew for someone on Straw Page.